Dear learners, welcome you again in the session of Systematics of Angiosperms. Earlier we have explored the families from the Gametophyte. Today we will going to explore the one family from the Monoclamidae according to Bentham and Oker, and this family is Euphorbiaceae family, which is also called as the Spurge family. Now, according to Bentham and Hooker system, this family is placed in the class Dicotyledonnae in subclass Monoclamidae, and the series of this particular family is unisexuals. This particular subclass Monoclamidae and series, these are now further categorized into the orders. Bentham and Hooker just classified the Monoclamidae into series and they just mention the families. These series don't have any orders. So this is belong to the series unisexuals. As we can see here, the Monoclamidae. Monoclamidae are those subclass which have only one kind of variant. They don't have a distinct calyx and corolla. That's why Bentham and Hooker named this family, that is the Monoclamidae. And in this Monoclamidae, this particular family Euphorbiaceae is placed in the series unisexuals, in which the flower are unisexual. So today we will learn about the Euphorbiaceae family. As we have seen earlier, the systematic position of this particular family by Bentham and Hooker, that placed in the Dicotyledonnae in the subclass Monoclamidae, and the series is unisexuals. While Engler and Prantl, they place this family, while according to Engler and Prantl, they also place this family in Dicotyledonnae and in the subclass Archiclamidae, and the order of this particular family is Geraniales. Now moving towards the distribution, Now moving towards the distribution of this particular family, Euphorbiaceae, which is also commonly called as Spurge family, is one of the largest known family of the dicots, because it has a very diverse forms and also habitats. This family has a quite adaptation in the every habitat condition. Like you can see, this particular family is comprised over the 300 genera of about more than 7,500 species all over the world, and they have a very adaptive nature in all the climatic conditions. That's why they are present all over the world. They also have a very diverse habitats, like from there they have a herbs to trees. These plants have a then grow. If we see the distribution of this particular family, Euphorbiaceae, which is also called as commonly Spurge family, is one of the largest families of Dicotyledonnae. This family is comprises of over 300 genera and about 7,500 species all over the world, and they have a quite different types of habitat, because these plants have a very adaptability in different condition. They have a very diverse habitat from deserts to rainforest, and their habits vary from herbs to tree. So this particular family is a quite diverse in nature. Its habits is also quite diverse. Their habitat ranges from desert to rainforest, and this particular family also have a very valuable for humans also, because they yield rubber. They also have ornamental plants. So this particular family is quite interesting in study, which have a many economic importance as well as a quite diverse adaptability in the ecosystem. Now moving towards the vegetative characters of this particular family, starting from the habit. As we have discussed earlier, that this particular family has a quite diverse in its habit. It is also have a, these plant of this particular family are herb, shrub, tree as well as climbers. What's the next characteristic of this particular family? They have a lactiferous vessels containing latex. As we can see, this particular family have a milky latex, and the roots of this particular family is branch taproot. In some plant it also become tuberous, which is also quite common. Then stem is erect, woody or herbaceous depending upon the habit of the plant. Branched. Sometimes species possess phylloclade, as we can say here, this is a phylloclade. Phylloclade, it is a modified type of stem which giving the appearance like a flat leaf-like structure, which is called as a phylloclade, and spines are also common in many stems. Like you can see, the spines are the modifications of leaf, because this particular family, as I have told you earlier, that has a very diverse habitat, and this type of plant which phylloclade, it is a adaptation for especially for the xerophytic condition. In this condition, the stem become photosynthetic and leaf become spiny to check the rate of transpiration and conserve the water. So, because of this plant particularly have a very quite diverse habitat, because they have a adaptability in that particular condition, like they have converted their stem into phylloclade that have adaptability in the desert condition and that check the transpiration rate. Now moving towards the leaves. Leaves of this particular family generally simple, stipulate, alternate as we can see here, or maybe opposite in many euphorbias, and the leaves may be scaly or caducous. Sometimes they are reduced to spines as we have seen earlier, and in some cases the leaves replaced by the cladodes. Cladodes and phylloclades are the modifications of the stem in that cases the stem become the flat, and the leaves in some cases they also have a leaf glands like we can see, and the lower surface there is a presence of a leaf gland that we can see here. So generally they have a alternate or opposite phyllotaxy as we can see here, and the leaves are stipulate, stipules is also present. So the vegetative characteristic we can see these plants have a quite adaptive in nature, in particularly in every habitat. Now moving towards the next floral character, that is inflorescence. In inflorescence there is a quite great variation seen in this particular family, like ricinus plant has panicle type of inflorescence, Jatropha shows terminal cymose cluster, Eclypha has a catkin type of inflorescence. In Euphorbia and Pedianthus, there is a Scythium type of inflorescence. As Scythium is a modification of the cyme, it is a special type of inflorescence in which a large number of male flowers, each represented by a stalked stamens, are found arranged around a central stalked female flower which consists of only one gynoecium and enclosed with a cup shaped involucre or bract as we can see here. This is the bract, involucre bract, in which a single female flower, you can see here, this is the pedicel of the flower and this is the female inflorescence. This female flower is surrounded by a number of male flowers, you can see here. So this is the Scythium inflorescence which particularly present in the Euphorbia and Pedianthus genera. So this is this complete inflorescence, as you can see, it is involucre bract, female flower, male flower, look like a single flower, but it is a modified type of inflorescence, that is the Scythium, which is a modification of a cyme type of inflorescence. Then the flower, if we see, they are generally unisexual, regular, actinomorphic with hypogynous flower. Now moving towards the particularly Euphorbia flower, as we have seen that in Euphorbia there is a special type of inflorescence present that is called as Scythium, which is also a modified form of a cyme in which the female represented by only a gynoecium, single gynoecium, and there is a presence of multiple male flower in a Scythium inflorescence as we can see here. This is a single male flower which is represented by a pedicel and stamens, and this is a single female flower which also has a pedicel. Then this is the ovary, you can see here, and their style is also trilobed in structure. This ovary is also divided into trilobes. So you can see here, this one is the involucre bract which has the single female flower and it is surrounded by a number of male flower. If we cut the TS of this particular family, you can see here at the center there is a presence of a female flower which is surrounded by number of male flower. So this is totally a whole inflorescence, that is a special type of inflorescence called as cythium, which present in the flower of euphorbia. So floral formula, if we see the male flower is also, if we see the floral formula of the euphorbia, it is only represented by the male flowers which has a unisexual condition, that there is a no calyx and corolla, there is only has a one single stamen. As we can see here, this is the male flower which has a only single stamens. And if we see the female flower is also represented by only a single gynoecium, which also don't have any calyx and corolla. This gynoecium is tricarpellary syncarpus with superior ovary, and the ovary is trilobed with axile presentation, and the stigma style is also divided into many sections, and the you can see here style is divided and stigma. So these are the male and female flowers of the cythium, which is one of the characteristic features of the family Euphorbiaceae that present in the plant Euphorbia. The presence of cythium inflorescence, and this particular inflorescence that you have seen the covered by the involucral bract, and this is the gland which is present in the nectary gland present at the involucral side. Now moving toward the floral parts of this particular family Euphorbiaceae. Now comes to the perianth. As we have discussed earlier that this particular family Euphorbiaceae belong to the subclass Monoclamidae, which don't have a distinct calyx and corolla. They are either represented by only calyx or either represented by corolla, and sometimes both are absent, and this is the quite often condition that present in the family Euphorbiaceae, that both calyx and corolla are absent in majority of the cases. But sometimes they may be present. If present, they consist of 4 or 5 sepals or petals, and they show imbricate or valvate type of estivation. Then you can see androecium. Androecium, the number of stamen is equal to number of perianth leaves. So there is a quite variation in the number of stamens also. It equal to the number of perianth word which is present in this particular family. Like in case of Euphorbia, a single stalked stamen represent a single male flower. As we can see here, this is the male flower of Euphorbia genera. This is the pedicel, and this is the stamen, this one is the filament, and these are the anthers. So in Euphorbia, it is represented by only a single stamen. In Ricinus, they have a 5 stamens, and each stamen is profusely branched. And in Jatropha, they are arranged in 2 whorls each of 5 stamens. In many, the stamens are also indefinite, like in case of Croton, and anthers are generally dithecous in nature. So if we see the androecium, this is quite variation is also present in the androecium, but in general the number of stamens is equal to the number of perianth leaves, and especially Euphorbia, they have only single stamens, and then there is a variation in the number of stamens in different families. Now moving towards the female reproductive part, that is the gynoecium. Gynoecium is tricarpellary syncarpus superior with trilocular ovary, and each locule of ovary contain 1 to 2 anatropous ovules that show the axile presentation. And in Euphorbia genera, this gynoecium is represented the whole female flower because they don't have a calyx corolla. This is a unisexual flower, and that represented by only gynoecium, as we can see here. So this is a typically a tricarpellary syncarpus superior ovary. Their lobes are quite visible in the also from the external surface. The mature plant or fruit have a trilobed structure. This is the female flower of the Euphorbia. Now moving towards the fruit, that is the next floral part of this particular family, Euphorbiaceae. Euphorbiaceae fruits are typically capsule. As we can see in this particular image, they have a capsule which are dry dehiscent fruit that is split open along the specific lines to release seeds. And the capsule can vary in shape and size from small and inconspicuous to large and showy, as we can see here. So the fruit is also have a quite interesting in this particular family. They are from a very small to large showy sizes, and they also have a dehiscence that give the that from this seeds is discharged. Then the seeds of this particular family is endospermic, which is often characterized by the distinct endosperm, which is nutritive tissue surrounding the embryo, that is a caruncle. As we can see in this particular image, seeds with fleshy caruncle, and this is a dry capsule fruit. This is the fleshy young fruit, and this one is the dry capsule fruit. And as we have seen that this particular has a endospermic, and they have a fleshy appendage that attract ants in this particular, and a hard seed coat that provide the protection. So these particular family also have a very interesting type of fruit and also seeds. As you can see, these are the presence of caruncle, that is fleshy out of the seeds. So we have seen there is a many defining characters which is present in this particular family Euphorbiaceae. Now we are going to discuss these particular defining characters. As we have seen in the previous vegetative character that these particular family have a presence of a latex, that have a milky latex that is sticky in nature. So presence of a latex in many Euphorbiaceae plant that also attract the insect, which is one of the characteristic of this particular family, that also act as a defense mechanism against the herbivores. Then the next is the presence of stipules, and in some plant these stipules are converted into the stipules into thorn-like or shape. As you can see here, these are the small appendages at the base of the leaves, and these are quite common in the family Euphorbiaceae. Then the presence of cythium inflorescence. The presence of cythium inflorescence, especially in the genera Euphorbia, it is a quite interesting, and cythium is a modified form of cyme, as we have discussed earlier. This is also one of the defining characters of the family Euphorbiaceae, as we have studied that the cythium is a modified cyme in which a single female flower is surrounded by many male flowers in a cup-like structure formed by the bract. The bract also has a nectary. We can see here this is a presence of nectary, and these are the bract in which there is a presence of a female flower, and it is surrounded by the number of multiples of male flower, which is represented by male flower represented by only a single stamen, while the female flower represented by only a single gynoecium. They don't have a calyx and corolla, both are absent in this particular cythium inflorescence. Then the fruits of this particular family is also, it is a capsule type. Then these capsules, for the releasing of seed, they have by the splitting of the capsule, and the seeds of this particular family have a caruncle. So moving towards the next slide, that's showing the common Indian plant of the Euphorbiaceae family. As you can see here, you may have seen many of the plants in your nearby, in the roadside or maybe in the gardens. Like one of the most common plant is the rubber tree. The rubber tree is also rubber, that is a. Now moving towards the common plants which occur in India of the Euphorbiaceae family. Like one of the most common plant, that is the rubber tree. Like the rubber tree is the Hevia basilensis, which is most native to the Amazon rainforest. Then Euphorbia pulcherrima, which is also called as the poinsettia. In Hindi it is known as the lal patta. Then ricinus, which is a common wild plant in many areas of India which yield castor oil. Then the Euphorbia species, which is called as spurge. Then Jatropha curcas is a shrub native to America. Its oil is used for the production of a biodiesel. Then the next common plant in India, that is the amla, that is the Phyllanthus amblica, which the fruit of this particular amla is quite rich in vitamin C and used in very traditional medicines and the source of vitamin C. And the next one is the eclypha. Eclypha is a common weed plant in India. It is also cultivated as a garden ornamental plants. So these are some common plants that occur in India and throughout the world. So this particular family has a quite good representation also in India, And here I am going to discuss the one of the common plant, that is the lal patta, which showing the characteristic feature we have discussed earlier. As you can see, these plants, there is a twig of the stem, they are showing the leaf which have a alternate arrangement. Then if we see, there is a presence of a cythium inflorescence, and these are the red color. As you have seen earlier in this figure, these red colors due to the colorful showy bracts, and these are the cythia. This is different number of multiple cythia present in a group. And if we see a single cythium, this is the LS of a cythium. You can see here the single cythium which has a covered by a involucre bract which has a nectary, and it has a single female flower at the center and surrounded by number of multiple male flowers, and single female flower represented by a tricarpellary syncarpus superior ovary with have a trilobed structure, and the male flower is represented by a single stamens, as you can see here, and each stamens are dithecous in nature. As you can see here, this is the pedicel and this one is the filament, and these are the anther lobe that present in this family, and this is the female flower. As you can see, this is the pedicel and this is the trilobed ovary, and if we cut the section of this particular ovary, you can find there is a tricarpellary condition, and each locules trilocule structure, and each locule has a seeds that showing the exile presentation. So the overall, this is the floral formula of this particular family, which is there is a presence of a bract, and this is the involucre bract that form a cup-like structure around this, which has a nectary as shown here, and male flower is represented by single stamens which is shown here, which have a multiple in number in this particular family, and the female flower is represented by the tricarpellary syncarpus superior ovary with exile presentation. As you can see here, it is a trilobed structure. So this particularly Euphorbia pulcherrima showing the characteristic of this particular families, especially there is a presence of a cythium inflorescence which shown in this particular figure in the floral parts of the Euphorbia pulcherrima. Now moving towards the next common plant that occur in the as a weed in India and as well as in the many North Indian regions, that is the croton. As you can see here, it is also showing the opposite leaves. Here you can see the inflorescence in which female and male flower. Female flower is arranged at the base while male flower arranged at the top of this particular inflorescence. So in this particular inflorescence, female flower present at the base and the male flower present at the above side. And if your single male flower has a pedicel, they have a sepals that in 5 in numbers, and they have a multiples number of androecium. There is the presence of an infinite number of stamens. And if we see the female flower is represented by that is a quite trilobed structure, that is a tricarpellary syncarpus superior ovary, as we can see here with exile presentation. This is the TS of ovary showing the exile presentation. And if you here you can see the male and female flower which has a bract. These are the perianth that's represented by calyx, and these are the number of male flowers that present in this particular family, and this one is the female flower which has a bract, then layer of a calyx you can see here, and the calyx or you can say tepals. So this is the croton speciflorius and showing the unisexual flower, and this one is the fruit which is also a trilobed in structure. Now moving towards the economic importance of this particular family. Starting from the Eclypha hispida, it is a herbaceous ornamental plant growing in gardens. Then the next one is the Calianthus collinus, that is commonly called as garari, is a small tree, and the leaves, fruit and bark used as a tan. Then the next one is the Euphorbia pulcherrima, which is called as a lal patta. It is also a ornamental plant. Then the next species is Euphorbia harta of the Euphorbia, that is called as dudhi. It is a medicinal plant. Then Euphorbia royalema, it is called as thar, used in hedges. Its latex is used also in the medicines. Then Jatropha curicus, that is called as the Safed errant. Its seeds is used in the making of soaps and candles. Then the next most common, that is the Euphorbiaceae, that yields the commercial rubber. This Euphorbiaceae is a large tree plant that bark is used for the preparing of rubber, which is used for making trees and inner tubes and the various electrical goods. So for the Euphorbiaceae, the stem of this particular yield the latex. This is obtained from the stem by cutting a section. There is a detailed process of the obtaining the latex from the Euphorbiaceae. It is called large tree from which the latex is obtained, that would yield in the many automobile industries. And the next is the umbilical fissionis, which is commonly called as amla. This yield a fruit that is a very rich in vitamin C, and the wood is yield also charcoal, and the leaves, bark, fruits used in tanning and dyeing industry. Then the next one is the Ricinus communis or arrant. It is a small cultivated tree, and the castor oil is obtained from the seeds of this particular Ricinus communis or arrant plants, and these are also used in the making of transparent soaps, perfumes, varnishes or in paints, and also used in medicines. These are the some list of the economic importance of the family Euphorbiaceae. Besides these, a number of plants like cacti that belong to the particular Euphorbiaceae family are used as a ornamental plants. Now moving towards the, as we have discussed earlier, that there is a rubber plant. From the rubber there is a, you can see there is a slit mark cut, a V-shaped slit cut on this particular family to obtain the latex, and these latex are used for the production of rubber plant. And for the oil extraction from the castor plant or from the arrant, that is from the Ricinus communis, the seeds is used to extract the oil content, and these are the ornamental plant like Euphorbia, Pulcherrima, Crotons, and the other species of Euphorbia which is used as a ornamental plants, and it also has a medicinal history, as we have seen earlier that many plants like castor oil itself and Euphorbia, Hurta, these all are used as a medicinally important plants. So that's all for today. Thank you all for your patience and hearing me. That's all.